Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends of all ages, to our lovely presentation on the 1941 motion picture classic, The Reluctant Dragon, starring Robert Benchley. Now, this happens to be a very special presentation, whereas this is the first time in a theatrical presentation that live action and animation are combined to make a seamless product. And we will see here in the following discussion, we're going to discuss all about the wonderful film that is the first Disney hybrid in the canon. How'd that go, Jason? Pretty good?
It was pretty good.
Right.
I'll have to do that again.
Do it again.
Take two. Take two. 1, 2, no.
No, you're good, Lou.
From the age of this movie, I could probably say without a doubt that this is the first kind of behind the scenes movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I mean,
Very apt.
Anything older than this, does that kind of thing. So for something
the
to do
original
that back
special
then,
effects.
yeah, to do all that and for it to be in the movie, that had to be.
It's really cool how they did that. Yeah.
Oh, definitely groundbreaking. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's mentioned about that in the reviews of the film that it is a groundbreaking motion picture. Absolutely. Because of the behind the scenes footage in the making of the motion picture. Absolutely.
So this is the first time I ever seen this.
Yeah. I've never
I had
heard
no
of
idea about any of that.
Okay.
I thought it was just a hybrid cartoon. I didn't know that, any of that. So
Right.
I never saw any footage or anything before.
No.
So when I started watching it, I was like,
wait, what?
And then,
I think it's a kind of a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you
Very much a hidden gem. Agreed.
even if you didn't get to the actual dragon cartoon, just to have this as a separate, kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For us little tech stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had the multi-plane camera and it kind of explained stuff on that.
That's the same one I saw at the museum.
Yeah.
And at the studio.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff that was in this movie that is at the museum in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So seeing it in the movie, I'm like, oh wow, I actually touched some of that
the little
stuff
train wheel that goes in a circle.
Yeah. All that is over there, and a lot of it, they're probably replicas, but a lot of it is hands-on for you to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
As all good museums are, they're definitely interactive, hands-on experiences. So you can get literally, as the cliche goes, put history in your hands.
Yeah.
Because they have an actual movie going, and you have to do the sound effects for it.
Oh, you have to make the Foley effects for it. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Oh wow.
So this it took me off guard. So because I wasn't expecting anything, I just watched it. I didn't take any notes. I didn't focus on anything. I just watched it and enjoyed it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
For entertainment.
Yeah.
What's funny with this?
This is all cool. And
with this movie,
finally a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny is with this kind of a movie, I remember a lot of this stuff that and I only seen it once, but for me, I remember all the cool stuff that they did to make the sound, doing Casey Jr. That whole sequence of making Casey Jr. That was so cool to see how they did it.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that they talk about and they show in this film that were for animations that hadn't been released at this point.
That were upcoming, Bambi.
Obviously, Casey Jr.'s in
Dumbo in there.
That hadn't been done. There was stuff about Pinocchio that hadn't been done.
Yeah.
She showed an animation of Bambi that hadn't been done. Or they were in the process of making it when they did it.
And they literally were showing sneak peeks of Lady and the Tramp and Peter Pan back then. This is literally 13 15 years prior to the fact.
Yeah.
That they're showing you sneak peeks that far into the future.
Yeah.
So, like, either you have to have a really good memory, or you're literally in the cinema writing notes, going, "Ooh, Lady and the Tramp. Ooh, Peter Pan. Ooh, J.M. Barrie." You know what I mean? Like, that'd be the only way you could remember that.
And
unless you had access to a print. You know what I mean?
The first Goofy, short.
That was funny.
Yeah.
With him riding a horse,
funny.
which,
Yeah.
And I'd seen
How to Ride a Horse,
that Goofy ride a horse short before, but I didn't know it came from this film.
Yeah. That was cool to see, like, the original one as well. For what that's for me, that's one of the things that Goofy's kind of famous for back in that era, before like he got his own kind of like movies and stuff, and his educational movies on how to play golf, how to do fishing, how to ride a horse, how to play football and baseball. Right.
The sports presentations. Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Like the Olympics, track and field.
Yeah. They were always a lot of fun. So it was cool to see the original one and see like this. I mean, like Jay was saying, I didn't take any notes either. I was just sat and watched it. Yeah, and it was just so enjoyable, entertaining, because I love the behind the scenes kind of stuff. I love learning how things work and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always up for learning that kind of stuff.
Especially when. If you ever go to that museum and then you watch this movie and you see stuff in the movie that you've seen in person is really neat. You're like, wow, I remember that. And you know, seeing all that stuff and actually being used how it's supposed to be used in an actual movie is really neat to see.
Yeah.
It was almost like a surprise when it got to the bit about the dragon. I've got in all the behind the scenes part. But when we actually got to like the 20 minutes of the story about the dragon, I was like, I forgot. About the dragon.
But I always thought it was weird how he was avoiding to go see Walt.
He was just so carried away in the behind the scenes.
Well, he got so wrapped
because
up
that guy was what's his name was always trying to find him,
explaining stuff, and I'm like, he's like, no, I don't want to hear this. Well, speaking of the dragon part, watch I guess the trailer. They really couldn't find a trailer, not a proper trailer. So we're gonna watch what they call the trailer, which is a bit about the actual dragon
himself.
So let's just watch that, and then we can get back to the conversation.
Cool. Mr. Bensley, this is your score, Doris. I've got all the cues marked in. I think you come in right after the fourth.
This is the other one.
Let's give it a lot of
this is the other. This is the behind the scenes.
And there's Robert Bensley right there.
All right, boys, let's go for a rehearsal. Lights. Picture. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All aboard! All aboard!
This thing, this too. More. This is way before Thomas the Tank Engine. The IHOP syrup.
I hope they use pure Vermont in that production.
Yeah.
Maybe I should find the other one too, so you can watch them both.
Okay.
So we get the cartoon.
But, yeah, so we get the behind the scenes and the cartoon.
And then the actual feature. Right.
That behind the scenes, that got me in the movie too, when he he tells her to look back the other way. Like, I don't know.
yeah. Like, why?
Like, what? I watched the same thing.
I laughed out loud when he just went cows.
Yeah. Just some funny things. Yeah.
It was quite, for the time, it was entertaining. Like, it made me chuckle like a little bit as well. Like, it was kind of funny.
It's like dad jokes.
It was, dad joke. Yeah, love the dad joke.
Zach's speciality, even though he's not a dad.
Exactly. Got to be prepared, you know.
As far as we know, he's not a dad.
Yeah, no, I'm not a dad.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Long, long ago, in a faraway land across the sea, there lived a little boy who considered himself quite an authority on brave, fearless
This is
knights
about 3 minutes.
and their mortal enemies, those horrible fire-breathing dragons that daily terrorize the countryside. One afternoon, as the boy sat deeply engrossed in his favorite subject.
It's funny, when you see an animation like this, you pretty much know right away it's the Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, son.
Right.
See, on the downs it was, all covered with scales and such, in a tail with a sort of a hook on it.
Got that iconic style, hasn't it?
It's
Always
horrible.
has.
That's what it is. Horrible.
I love how this kid is just like, what's wrong? It's just a dragon.
Yeah.
I'll go take care of it.
He reminds me of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, Father. I'll have a look at him.
Oh, no.
I got my little slingshot.
He's a little slingshot. Yeah.
The book is almost as big as he is.
Yeah.
Hey, the backside of water.
Yeah. The eighth wonder of the world. Excuse me.
La 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 la.
What makes me chuckle about this is the dragon's like all shy because he's got no clothes on.
Yeah.
Just the animated bit, he's got no clothes on.
Yeah.
Don't you blow stones at me or squirt water or anything. I won't have it.
I won't.
Oh, I just came for a friendly chat.
He's from England.
I'm not wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, you have some marmite?
Thank you.
All the dragons are from England.
The
Yeah, well, it's a Welsh flag, so yeah.
Yep.
It's where all dragons live.
Wait, I thought there was a wyvern on the
Have you had
flag
any
of
nice
Wales.
battles lately?
Battles?
Well, that's England.
No battles.
He's drying himself with his wet tail.
Hope
You'll
you'll
have
be
that.
too busy scourging the countryside and devouring fair damsels then.
Scourging, devouring? Good heavens, no!
But don't you ever do anything desperate?
Well, yes,
Hey, look, he's gone and got dried and got dressed. He's still naked.
Poetry?
yes, as you know.
Like a fringe.
Can't hear my native sonnet?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, you love this. I call it just a drifting. Just a drift beyond the lead like a new drop fancy tree.
That's pretty good. Like, if you're like a 20-ton animal and you're able to be that nimble, that's something. That's pretty good.
Hey, Lou, that's why you never skip leg day.
Yeah. But I mean, but we
Leg
see this
day.
in other like Disney dragons that they're all incredibly nimble. Like, there's not a clumsy
Peach
dragon in the
isn't
pantheon.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Elliot is very nimble.
Yeah.
Very. You know, and Wushu also being very nimble, except when he like smashes
He
the
was very
statue
little.
of the ancestors.
Limp noodle. Yeah.
Okay, well, we kind of talked about things we liked already, but I'm sure there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody want to go first?
Steve does.
I do?
Yeah, you said it.
All right.
You clipped up first.
Sure.
Sure, to be sure.
One of my most favorite parts is when it transitions from black and white to color.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Technicolor.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they
But
did
he
that.
says to the woman that she looks different.
Yeah.
It's in colour.
Yeah. That and I just love all that behind the scenes stuff and how they and like I said before, getting to experience that at the museum, it just brought, it was just so cool to actually see it being used in the movie in KG Jr. for instance, and Dumbo.
You're talking about the Disney Family Museum.
Yes, the Disney Family Museum in San Francisco. Yeah. If you ever get a chance there, you got to go there.
I still want to.
10 recommended.
It's amazing to see. Forget about the rest of the city. Just go see that.
Yeah, that's the only thing worth seeing in San Francisco.
Bridge over there.
Some bridge and whatever, and some crazy crooked street. But you got to go see the museam.
A few dozen cable cars. Who cares, right? Like we want to go to the museum.
Yeah. So seeing, and also in this movie, how you saw the I forgot what it's called. The camera, the
multiplane
camera. So seeing how in this one how it works and everything, and then actually seeing it in real twice, but at the studio they don't show it. It's just like a prop that's sitting there, right? But at the family museum, you can actually go upstairs and look down at the planes and stuff.
Oh, cool!
Right?
Yeah, it's so neat. So when they are explaining that in the movie, it was just so cool to see that.
He puts his hat down. He's like, I don't see nothing.
Yeah. See, and that's what made it kind of fun too. Is the way.
He's like so like goofy looking and
oblivious.
Yeah. And he's a comedian in real life, so bringing him in and Robert Benchley. There you go. Thanks. So
you're welcome.
See, I never knew who he was until this movie, and he's like he actually fits in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Or like when he was shooting his little plastic ducks, that
was funny.
Yeah. Everywhere I aim, I always hit the same duck.
Yeah. That was great.
I also really liked as he's going along, he's been collecting these like things that were what do you call the maquette of his head and all that.
Yeah. So that was another thing that was cool to see so I got to actually go on that studio with Alex, and he got one of his fans actually worked there, so we got to take a little tour of that place. So seeing places there that I stood next to, and it was kind of neat to see. Is like way back, and this is what 1941, and it was everything that was there, and then standing there in real life was neat to see, and I'm pretty sure some of those buildings was where he took us in and everything. So it was really neat. Yeah. But all that stuff, you it's just I can't. It's hard for me to talk now. You can cut this part out.
Cut that part out, then you wouldn't be in it.
It's
all right.
Because I like the technical stuff. So seeing it.
I do believe in one of the scenes that was Warden Kimball, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was neat to see him in there and stuff. There was actually a few famous Disney animators.
In fact, I was gonna mention to dovetail on what Steve's saying is that Alan Ladd is in this film.
Yeah, exactly. Alan Ladd,
who pitches the storyboard.
Yeah.
If you know who Alan Ladd is, and we just talked about Alan Ladd last night.
Yep.
On the ride through. So yeah. Special bonus.
If it wasn't for Alan Ladd, there would probably
Star Wars would not
exist.
Yeah.
So, But also, seeing the famous animators, also seeing Donald.
Yeah,
that was so cool to see. I forgot his name again. I'm not good with the name. So seeing him and actually him doing Donald and stuff, it was so
very
cool.
Very cool.
This was such
seeing
like
Pinto
a fun
Colveg.
movie.
Seeing Pinto Colveg do the original voice of Goofy too was like special treat.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah.
So like this film is very special for that aspect, is that it gives you this insider perspective into the operations of the animations division of Walt Disney Productions and how they turn.
I think the
their
best
idea
part
into reality
was seeing Walt sitting in the theater chair doing this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so laid back.
Yeah.
I know, so young. Yeah.
Let me ask a question.
He was
after Nash did his little cheek. How many people tried to do Donna's voice? Because I did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I could not do it.
Didn't go so well.
I can do that part, but I can't talk.
I can't do any of it.
Yeah. See, this is exactly.
It's too hard. There's no way you can do it.
Yeah,
it takes a special skill.
I have to admit, yes, I leave it to the masters. I'm just a monkey amateur.
My brother can do a little bit. Nothing like.
Good on Phil. Awesome.
What else do we have?
No, I was the first one, so now it's you guys.
Well, no, I already said some things, but does anybody else have stuff? Did anybody have stuff they didn't like?
No.
Not really, no. I think it was pretty solid all the way around. I mean, just like Steve said, getting to see like behind the scenes and how it flowed really well between the animation and the behind the scenes stuff, and all the jokes landed right. And it just, because one of the issues for like things that grow older with all that kind of stuff is the jokes age poorly. This didn't, because it's not that type of couple of iffy ones. Iffy ones there were, of course.
In some of the animation, there was some very stereotypical.
From that period.
Some of them won't be, of course, but it was a greyish area, but it wasn't like way over the line like some of them were. That some of them can be.
That was actually kind of funny.
But that's this is like the same thing. It's like Snow White became slave, and a lot of these things I think just didn't matter back then. And again, why they keep picking on Song of the South when all these other things have bits here and there that are
just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was so many cool nods to, like I said earlier, about stuff that hadn't been made yet.
Yeah.
So when he's looking at the maquette where he picks up like the zebra lady from Fantasia, if you look in the background, there's Captain Hook, there's the cats from the Siamese cats. There's
Lady in the Tramp, right?
There was a Lady in the Tramp. There was like there's stuff from films that hadn't even begun production yet that they got that were there. So it would almost be like they're Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But they're not, because this is the first thing of this kind. So
if
this was a Pixar movie, there'd be stuff everywhere like this.
Oh, of course.
But this was just there. And the animation of Bambi as well. Obviously, Bambi wasn't in production yet.
No.
Really?
So
well, maybe just.
It was just in production, yes.
So that was kind of like one of the first things publicly seen for Bambi then in this movie. And,
you're correct.
And as soon as they started doing the Casey Jr. bit, my mind did not jump to Dumbo straight away. My mind went to, I want to go to the Storybook ride at Disneyland Paris and ride Casey Jr. Because every time I hear that music now, it makes me think of that ride.
Yeah.
I forget he's in Dumbo.
Just like us US-based people want to go to Disneyland and ride
him.
Casey Jr.'s steam train. Yes, exactly.
Because that music makes me think of just makes me think of the little
the attraction.
Disney and Paramount.
Right. Yeah.
I forget Casey Jr.'s in Dumbo and pulls the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where he comes from.
Yep.
But yeah, there was so much cool stuff in movies that were up and coming, like years in advance, like Peter Pan. There was things that looking back now, you go, oh, that's that.
Yeah.
But when people watch this for the first time in 1941, they have no idea that all this.
They have no idea who these people were. Yeah.
And the other thing is too, we've watched so many movies now that we know that they stick in little
stuff to look at.
Whatever. Back then, they never did it. It was just something that was in the background as they're recording.
Yeah. Well, we kind of talked about it on Snow White.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's that was only a couple years earlier. So.
Yeah.
And like
we're seeing that it's establishing a precedent.
Yeah.
And that they're going to be doing sneak peeks if you really know what you're looking for. They're going to be doing sneak peeks in practically every feature animation up until the time of the release of the future attraction. So, and then they're going to keep going. They're going to keep moving that goalpost further and further into the future to where we're going to get to see stuff anywhere from a year to 20 years in the future. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Very forward thinking of the Walt Disney Company to do that. Because nobody else was. It wasn't like 20th Century Fox or Warner Brothers, Universal, Paramount was doing any of this stuff. In that case, the Walt Disney Company was pioneers in Easter egg entertainment. Like,
absolutely.
Light years ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, it's cliche, it's trope, where all the majors are doing it now.
Yeah.
So good on Walt Disney Company for inventing it.
Yeah, exactly. People look for it. I mean, I know when I watched movies now, I'm like super vigilant about watching what's in the background.
Well, that's Pixar for sure. They do a lot of that.
Doing anything Star Wars related as well. I like, and Marvel. Yeah, it's like I'm expecting to see something that either looks back or looks forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with Iron Man, how in the background you'll see his shield, Captain America's shield, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it all comes from here. This is like the first movie to do this.
Oh,
Genesis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like how they did all the way they did the paints too. It's so neat. All the different colors.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm pretty sure that was one of the rooms I went in, but I don't think it was. I don't think it's used as the same what they do now, but I think that's what the guy that gave us the tour. I think that's what he said this room was. It was the paint where they mixed all the paint and everything. Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
Which we kind of talked about again on Snow White, getting the face.
Exactly.
Right. We talked about the techniques.
Yeah. And then in this movie, you actually see how they do all the paint mixing and and getting the right colors and stuff. And we saw how big the racks were with all the different colors and stuff.
Oh yeah. And colors that weren't even used anywhere else. Like they were literally making new colors.
They're making, But what I thought was interesting was they were all women doing these colors.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of women working at Disney.
Oh yeah.
There was. Most of them were in the ink and paint department, I do believe. Back in that time.
Right.
Maybe there might have been a couple in animation as time went on, but they're mainly.
Yes.
And costuming was another one as well.
Costumes.
Yeah.
Where not a lot of other big companies of the day, women didn't work. Women were at home.
No, that's it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, very forward thinking, but that was Walt's ideology, wasn't it? To be forward thinking, keep moving forward.
Right.
He's very much an ideas man, very much a futurist, as we all know. So, and it's he just wanted everything to be perfect, and this was a cool movie though. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of this movie before. It's fun to watch something new and hear about something new as a Disney adult. To be like, oh, this is cool. I've never seen this before. Like this is new media that I've never touched before.
Had you ever seen the Goofy short, like the ride in the horse?
Saw the Goofy short, but like again, like you said, Shaz, never knew it came from
this movie.
From
it's just like the Donald, the Donald was the farmer, right? And he's milking the cows and stuff.
So did it come from this movie, or did this movie just have it in it?
Or were they working on it simultaneously?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked, Jason.
Not
so
Thomas, but
in particular, How to Ride a Horse isn't going to be released until 1950. It will be released by RKO in 1950 as a short. But we're getting the sneak peek literally 9 years prior in 1941.
Right, because they're probably making a whole bunch of them, right? Like all the sports ones that we're talking about.
Right, like a production line. Exactly.
So this may be the first appearance, but it's not
peek.
really supposed to be part of this movie. It was just that it was in it.
Right.
Like Baby Weems, right?
Yeah.
Baby Weems, yeah.
That was another
cool one.
part of how they started with storyboarding everything. And that was so cool to see how they, we know now how it's done, but back then, learning that they do everything for storyboard, different scenes, and then they put it all together, and then that's how the movie's, made or whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of cool how they show all that too. And then having an actual baby there, and the nurse comes to pick him up. Oh, he's only allowed 15 minutes, and he's got to go take his nap or whatever.
Child labor laws, gotta love them.
Yeah.
I wonder how this movie did when it came out, though. Like, I wonder if it
This is going to tell you.
Oh, there you go.
So like we were talking about that it was released during the animator strike during 1941. But dollars and cents here, it cost $600,000 to make, and it returned $960,000, with $460,000 of those dollars being generated in the United States and Canada.
Is that money in today, or is that?
No, that's
41. So So inflation wise, it'd be probably about $1 million too.
Probably tens of millions of dollars. Yes.
Yeah.
Like it didn't
still
take
ain't
much
bad,
but to make the movie, because they're doing stuff.
Right.
Well, that's it.
It's already in production. Like we're already doing other stuff in production.
Yeah.
Right. Like the only thing we're really having to do is do the Reluctant Dragon segment of the feature. And of course that's technically mind blowing. Again, like I was talking about, like how you get a 20-ton large reptile to act so nimble is really incredible and impressive. Like
he's very delicate when he's pouring his tea as well.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I wanted to mention was that I love how the animators literally cipher this whole conflict between the boy and the dragon and Sir Giles out in the end, and how literally at the end of the film they're all sitting there having tea, having a blast, just being friends, Whereas the boy has these
they're in the cave notions, and pretending to hit each other.
He has a preconceived notion of preconceived notion that dragons and knights are enemies and that they have to fight to the death. And clearly the dragon and Sir Giles proved the little boy wrong. I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's really cool that when they're doing their fake fight in the cave, they're using very similar sound effects and stuff that they've shown us how to do in the beginning. They're banging drums and causing smoke, to make it look like the dragons are wafting stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty funny how they did that.
Yeah.
Would anybody change anything?
Oh no, there's nothing to change. Like this is fantastic. Like it gives you a good behind the scenes look of how things were done back then, and it was it's a lot of fun. It blends really well animation wise, and
I think this movie is like one of the ones where you wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Yeah.
God, did you say you're going to watch it again?
I'd watch this again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
That's a That's going to be a 5. It's going to be a 5 star from Steve. Yeah, it's going to be a 5 from Steve.
The only thing I would I wouldn't say change, I would add, is to make it a true hybrid, is to kind of have the dragon interact with a live action person.
Yeah, with
Robert Benchley.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, with
that would be
Robert
kinda cool.
Benchley. Yeah,
That would be.
that would
cool.
have been cool. Yeah,
Like James Baskett's going to do it in the South.
And I'm pretty sure that was in their minds after this movie
probably
did. And they said, how come we didn't put these two guys together?
Yeah.
Or maybe the technology wasn't there yet. And they were, let's invent something to get these guys.
It was together. Like they were doing Alice comedies back as far as
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I forgot.
So
yeah.
animation and live action had been blended as far back as that.
Yeah.
And we're now almost 20 years in the future. So this easily could have happened, technically speaking.
Yeah.
I guess it just didn't occur to them. It would have been cool, like Jason said.
What's the first one? The first real hybrid is Song of the South, which is in 1946. It's only 5 years later.
Right. So I mean, maybe, like we're saying, maybe they got an idea that like, oh, we can
feature hybrid
movie like this,
or feature length hybrid film, not short hybrid film. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't. Besides that, everything, like we're saying, the jokes and everything, they all hold up pretty well. So
yeah, especially for that time period.
I mean, I think the only thing that you might want to change, and I don't mean to wreck anybody's purist attitude, is clearly the dragon is very offensive. That's gonna piss off a lot of people. I get.
Well,
that.
it's like
but
I
also understand at the same time that the values of yesterday are not the values of today.
Right.
And that you have to look at it, or you don't have to. You can look at it any way you want, but it's recommended you look at it in context, cultural context.
Of course,
and I was
look at it,
and you just see it as lampooning.
Yeah,
was it Pinocchio?
That's what it was intended to be. It was lampooning.
Was it Pinocchio or Snow White that had that kind of notice?
Oh, the disclaimer?
Disclaimer, yeah, in the beginning.
Both have a disclaimer on them.
Yeah, I know Pinocchio for sure has one.
Would you make the dragon less flamboyant or more flamboyant?
See, personally, I'd make him more.
The way he is.
But as far as today goes, and with the sensibilities of the modern cinema going public, I'd have to dial it back, unfortunately. Like if we were to release this today, we could make the dragon effeminate, but we just couldn't go that far with it.
But like I was saying,
go over the
I think it's just an openly gay dragon, and that's fine.
Obviously, we know he's meant to be like gay in a sense, but I think it comes across more campy.
He's totally campy.
Right. Like that total camp kind of like.
Right.
You get that kind of genre of like musical theatre. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So if it's done right nowadays, if it were to ever be released or the character to be made like this, I think this would pass okay if it was done right, of course. Like,
well, now you mentioned Zach.
Kind of
so the Reluctant Dragon is in Disney 100. Mm-hmm. Like they show the animation, they show the Reluctant Dragon, and they show the Reluctant Dragon being effeminate.
Yeah. In the
short, you know what I mean? So in that way, I guess it does work as a transition to the modern day.
Yeah.
Like I was saying to Shaz and Zach, is I think back in those days, because we were talking about Hanna-Barbera and how they had Snagglepuss and Wally Gator, and they were also very flamboyant, but there was like you never even
Boo Boo. Yeah, was also feminine.
Yeah, right. So you never gave it a second thought about it. So
no.
I don't know either, to be fair. I think
that's okay.
I think it's great that he was sort of like overly flamboyant, potentially gay, because it was illegal to be gay back then. I mean, you could be put in prison for being gay back then. So the fact that we've got an effeminate, openly gay dragon, I think is awesome. Well, not openly gay, but
So I can see where you're saying about it, how it's groundbreaking, how it's opening perspective.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
When I first started talking, I was like, oh my god, it's a gay dragon. That's so cool. We're in 1941.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, also is like, I think some of the animators, you know, maybe in order for them to express themselves,
we're using this as a medium.
We're using this,
yeah,
you know, as
right,
yeah. But it was just a fun movie. That's all. You don't have to take it to be all serious or anything. It's just a fun movie.
That's it. You don't have to read too much into it.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean with fun yourself as well. Like, you don't have to read that too much into it. It's a guy telling stories, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
I really like that dragon. I think we should send more of him.
They actually do have toys. I looked it up.
Yes, they do have merch. Not as much as I think anybody would like, but I think there's definitely merch.
Many people don't even know what it is. So
right,
like I say.
Also, what you're saying is that possibly they need to put presents in the park with the Reluctant Dragon in particular. Right.
Yeah.
Introduce him to Figment.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking on like a house on fire.
I mean,
it'd be like could be like Figment's cousin or something. There you go.
Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World is screaming for like some Sir Giles like food concern, right? Like
absolutely, in Liberty Square,
or a shop or whatever, and they could do like the whole theme on the Reluctant Dragon. That'd be really, really cool, and you wouldn't have to spend a boatload of money on it. You know, maybe $500,000, and you get a whole shop set up and do like themed on the Reluctant Dragon and Sir Giles, and Sir Giles would be like, "Yeah, I'm Sir Giles, and I make this." You know what I mean?
Or you can buy a shed for half of that from Home Depot and just shove it in the
park. And then at the front says "Boo."
Boo.
It's referring to the Haunted Mansion shed.
Yeah.
Or you could literally have like a barber shop in Fantasyland and give kids Dutch boy haircuts.
There you go.
Well, his haircut was so bad. I know it was like, you know.
That's the
Middle Ages.
But it was like me when I had a bowl cut when I was younger. That's what that was.
I actually had to laugh at the end because here he was with this book that wanted to present to Walt to make a movie, and Walt already made the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, wait, he stole my idea.
It's like the plot twist. Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. You know, he's sitting in the car driving home with all his stuff.
With all of his stuff.
Nagging him for being crap because he hadn't like pulled his finger out. And if he'd have done it earlier, which is kind of typical for how women were portrayed back then, but they probably were.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
All I was just
and Jason's favorite part was the little zebra girl.
Oh yeah. I love how we were passing things to Walt while he was there. I was like, "Oh, how did that get in there?"
Half-naked zebra from Pennsylvania.
I said there's some inappropriate stuff in there.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Loads, but you know,
I did like. Speaking of the wife. She's like, "What do you mean? I'm not going. I'm going shopping."
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. And you see her driving away.
I generally thought those two people that were walking behind the car, I thought she was going to knock them down. Yeah. She was reversing like 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, right. I'm like, "Oh, she's a good driver." She's just like,
"Oh dear."
It was a fun movie. It's a fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And
I'd definitely watch it again. Yeah, that dragon's great. Does the dragon have a name? It doesn't have a name, does it?
He's the Reluctant Dragon.
Yeah, but is that what his name is? Does he have? Can we call him like?
Introduce himself.
Ronnie? Can we call him like
Ronnie the Dragon?
Ronnie the Reluctant Dragon.
Yeah, I don't think he had a name.
No, because the little boy referred to him as Dragon.
Yeah. I mean, Reluctant Dragon is just a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite? Yeah, you know. So
it was cool. He reminded me a bit of how he was animated. Reminded me a lot of Elliot from Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
Which was one of my favorites growing
maybe
up.
Maybe this was inspiration for Elliot as well. Like this could have stemmed so many more ideas.
But he's also kind of Figment-y as well, I thought. Obviously,
his face is very Figment-y. Yeah. But this was way before Figment because Tony Baxter wasn't even born at this point, probably.
No, but it makes me wonder if this
they've
was
had
kind
some
of
sort of idea
towards the other Disney dragons that we've had.
Oh, I'd say 100%. I'd say 100%.
Right. So I just looked up the original story by Kenneth Graham, which was published in 1898, and the dragon is not named. So if Kenneth didn't name him, then clearly Walt didn't name him either. But I think Ronnie would be perfectly appropriate.
Yeah. Ronnie the Reluctant Dragon.
R-O-N-N-I-E, Ronnie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like my cousin
Ronnie
Ronnie.
can be a boy's name,
Yeah.
so he can decide what he wants to be.
Yeah. Like
exactly so. Ambiguous. That's the way it should be.
What show was that on? Saturday Night Live was Pat, right?
Pat.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Pat.
When it's time for androgyny, yes.
Yeah.
Played by Julia Sweeney, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And at the end of the day, you just don't know. And it's okay not to know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I'm pretty sure we're all going to agree on this. Do we think kids would enjoy this?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I mean,
it's very niche, isn't it? It's a very niche movie.
It's going to be, again, this certain age group of kids.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I tried getting my grandkids to watch it, and they got bored.
How old are they?
Yeah.
They are 9, 10, and 11.
So
see, now I would have loved it at that age, but then
it's the technical stuff that they don't really care about. They're waiting for the cartoon to come on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the actual the dragon sequence. They got bored.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
I didn't even play the behind the scenes stuff. I just played the Reluctant Dragon for them.
Yeah.
And they're like, after 5 minutes, they got bored. They wanted to go do something else, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god! I would have watched this from front to back, age 10.
So I'm just going to say that I don't know if it's exactly relevant for children today. At least not my grade.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Jason, has Ashton seen?
I don't think so. But
okay,
I guess I'm wrong because I was going to say I think they would, because I thought they would be interested in seeing the behind the scenes and how things were.
Yeah.
But we're looking at
my grandkids really don't like black and white stuff. They
yeah, that's another thing.
They totally switch off their head when they see anything.
No, I get that too, because I really don't watch I'm not the person who's going to watch Casablanca all the time because it's black and white. I'll watch it once, maybe. That's it.
You watch I
get it. Sure.
Andy Griffith, all those old.
Not really.
TV shows.
I've seen them, but I'm not going to go find it.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like something you want to take your precious time with and search out and actually enjoy it, consume it. Right.
I mean, I can enjoy them.
Twilight Zone.
They're not my thing.
It's all black and white.
Sure. I'm just saying that my grandkids can't stand black and white entertainment, so I don't even bother.
Em used to be like that when she was younger, but the older she's got, the more she appreciates that it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure probably, and it's probably part of her education too, is that she's been like, what do you call it, adapted to it because of education. Like being in school, being such a cultural reference that black and white photography was a huge deal. And, right, you know what I mean? Like, like without black and white, there is no color. You know what I mean? And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But to answer Jason's question, at least with my grandchildren, no, they do not find it relevant, and no, they do not like it, and it is what it is. I love it.
Yeah.
Everybody here loves it. I got that.
Yeah.
And maybe other kids would totally enjoy it, especially kids that are into film. Would probably love it.
Yeah, but, and that, like I was saying, it's very niche. Like it's a very niche kind of subject.
Film. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If they grew up like we're saying, that have an interest in knowing how things work.
Right.
Because me, I was the kid always taking things apart.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is that my grandson Nolan, he loves robots, and in fact, he's on a track in school to become a roboticist.
Oh wow!
And he's heavy into the math and heavy into the science, heavy into the physics, and heavy into design and draftsman and all that stuff like that. He's actually doing that in school now, and he's 10 years old. And he loves robots, so he loves knowing all about servo motors and motherboards and how you integrate all that stuff together, and
wonder where he gets
servos
that from.
And everything else. He totally loves it though. But you show him a behind the scenes of a motion picture, give a fig less. I don't know.
Well, because I think for his point of view, he's probably like all on the technical side of
Hard
things.
tech.
Like I don't care about reading the book.
How they make a sound.
I want to.
I want to smash something with.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of like that, but in the opposite sense. Like, I don't take things apart because DIY and me just don't get along. But
it'll take you apart.
It'll take me apart. But give me like a place outside to explore, and I will explore every single nook and cranny until I know it like inside out.
Yeah.
Like I don't like when I was at Disney World. I don't need no park map. You know, like I know where I'm going because I've reviewed it so many times. And if I go somewhere once, I know how to get there and back. I know shortcuts. I know how to find out the quickest route. I've kind of always been like that. Like I don't need a map to know where I'm going when I'm in the car. I just follow the road signs and I can do that. So one of my favorite parts was where he was like trying to escape from the guy, like the B plot essentially, to like find all these nooks and crannies, and that would be me. Like that is for me. That's a big old playground. Like if I was allowed to do that on the Walt Disney like production studio lot, that would be me.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, you would not find me for days until absolutely,
an entire truck full of like Disney swag.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that hints back to what Steve was talking about. Like, why was he trying to dodge Disney? You know,
he didn't want to
Disney security. Yeah.
They get to all these other little things.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because he got overwhelmed with the entirety of the totality of the Walt Disney Studio. Like it's kind of like Zach just said, it's a wonderland. And like you got to get into it. You got to get into those weeds and look at every blade.
When I was there, it was a little overwhelming because of the history of everything and knowing all the history of what has actually happened there.
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
it's like I want to see everything. Yeah. Everything and anything that he can show us, which he did. He showed us a lot. And
there's so much more. There's so much more that you've not seen because it's like work in progress, and you know.
And I couldn't really take any pictures or video which was heart wrenching because we saw so many things. And, I want to take a picture of that. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
Or, I want to see this. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
So.
It's all very hush. Yeah.
That must have frustrated the hell out of you.
It did. There was a few. I'll tell you off camera stuff.
I think you're allowed to describe what you saw. We can't stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Steve gets a lifetime ban. That would not be good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Rule number 1: you don't talk about Fight Club.
What happened on the Walt Disney World property stays on the Walt Disney World property
forever.
All right. Well, we did. Well, Lewis
we have to
talk
do
about
the rating
in the parks.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other ideas how you would integrate or merch that you would want to see or anything?
I just think it needs to be like more well known. I can't. It's a hidden gem. Can't believe.
Oh, absolutely.
What I would do, I would actually play this movie in the theater from on Main Street Cinema. I would actually play this movie in Main Street Cinema and have a loop.
Yeah.
I think it should.
Again, old Fantasyland.
On the animation courtyard,
Well, they used to play the shorts. This would be an ideal presentation for the old school Fantasyland theater. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or any other screening room on like park property. Like this would be a great little something to introduce people to animation.
Yeah. It's got all the special effect things that they were doing for the movies. Right. There's so many famous people in here, or that became famous people. Right. They weren't famous back then. They were well known, but then all of a sudden, everybody.
Well, This is prior to the Disney Legends era.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
they
it's great.
I mean, one of them got a train named after him. So.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would I get? I don't know. Would I get beaten down by the Disney fans if I said put that dragon into Jungle Cruise ride where the elephant is in the water?
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
And you just you get up to him, and all you hear is a woo.
Yeah.
That would be like replacing the fire-breathing dragon at Paris with the reluctant dragon. That would be snigged in.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
the dragon would lift his head, and then you see the reluctant dragon underneath.
Exactly. He would like the
dear
cake,
heavens.
though. It's really dark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. That would be cool. And he could speak in French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be effeminate
That would even
French,
be-
which would be even funnier.
Yeah.
Oh, but
French
even
flamboyant
having
dragon.
him somewhere as a little Easter egg in some ride, in some water ride where he just pops up, like in the background, would be so cool.
Oh, it would,
Gargling.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Gargling,
even if you didn't really like, he didn't make a noise, or you didn't really see him, you could just see him pop up, and you're like, oh, it's the dragon.
Should be on.
That would be so cool.
But he's reluctant to show him.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hiding behind a rock while he's drying himself with his tail.
Yeah, exactly. That would just be such a cool little Easter egg.
It would be cool. Yeah, it would be
Good
cool.
thinking, Jace.
I do. Yeah, he should be a part of something.
Yeah,
Like I say, you should introduce him to the parks as Figment's cousin.
Well, I mean,
Ronnie.
Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie and Figment. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but you can introduce him as another dragon. Sure.
Actually, that's cool. We got Ronnie's Roasters at Fantasyland.
Yeah, there you go.
And
There you go.
he does like a take on the Ronto Roasters there at Hollywood Studios.
There you go.
But they're Ronnie Roasters, dragon roasted meats. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you
like
go.
a dragon roasted sandwich or something.
Instead of the robot,
that would be
he's
the
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you'd also have to fling in something like halloumi cheese or vegetables for the vegetarians.
Right, and you'd have like Sir Giles with it because his lance, and he'd have like skewered on the lance. He'd have like he'd have the Ronnie roaster.
Oh, there you go.
That'd be cool
That's
too.
Bingo Barbecue for WDW.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
And we come up with such cool ideas in the middle of the night / early in the morning.
We have that.
Come on, Disney, make it happen, man. Come on.
Yeah, we want to see. We want.
Listen to us. We want Ronnie in the parks. Hashtag Ronnie. Hashtag
Ronnie
justice
lives.
for Ronnie.
Ronnie the dragon. Oh my god.
So we've even given him a name for you,
Ronnie in
Disney.
the
Come on.
parks.
Come on, Bobby Iger. Listen to us, man. Come on. Bobby Iger. Get Ronnie in
Don't
the
even
parks.
get me started on his salary.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, let's
Make
not.
me cry.
All right. So, what would you rate it, Jay? Quickly change the subject. What would you rate it?
Good.
This is a 5 all the way.
5.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
I enjoyed every part of it. Like I said, I didn't take any notes. I just watched and laughed and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can watch
Yeah.
it again.
yeah. I
I
might.
think you can watch it over and over. To be fair.
Oh, yeah, because there's always... I feel like because... I'll do my rating in a sec, but because it is like the first of its kind, there's always going to be something to look for in the background that you might not have noticed the first
A
time.
lot of stuff you'll see again.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you didn't see the first time.
Exactly. And so for that reason, I am giving it a 5 as well. I think it's very well done. It's very impressive for the time. And it's just like, I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff. So it just hits home for me. As soon as that launched up. Yeah.
Is he wowing? 'Cause
He's
I was looking at
wowing.
All right.
Yeah,
okay,
he's
so
wowing,
looking at the ratings.
Yeah. He
Okay.
wowed us.
Chazzy.
Go on, Shazza.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 as well. I absolutely loved it. I
There we
could
go.
watch this again and again. It's so cool.
It is very cool. Yeah. All right. Lewis?
And it was funny.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to buck the trend here. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Wow.
And the reason I'm going to give it a 3.5 is because I would have really liked. The reason I'm giving it a 3.5 is because I wish that the Reluctant Dragon piece was longer. Not short.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like it to be longer, personally.
Yeah, it
but that's
seems
because
like
it's a brilliant technical piece of animation.
The baby cartoon
The baby
was long. It was longer.
It was,
than
the Baby Weem one was
yeah.
a lot longer, I feel. Yeah.
Right. I never read the book, obviously. Is the cartoon significant following the book? Or
More or less. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more character development. Like, we get to get Giles' backstory in The Reluctant Dragon by Kenneth Graham. And that's about it. But I think it should have been in there, but that's just me. That's because, like I said, I'm like a Disney geek, and like I'm like reading into crap. So like shouts they're overthinking. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I can think about it too hard.
My superpower is
giving it 3.5,
and yours is being a Disney geek.
There you go.
It is what it is.
Sleeping.
I just play COD.
COD man to the rescue.
Yeah.
COD guy.
I give it. It's really hard because I think I'll do like a 4.5 somewhere around there.
Which one? 4 or 4.5?
Yeah.
4.25.
I think I'll do a 4.
Okay.
I really like the movie. I definitely watch it again. To me, the baby, I forgot his name now.
Baby Weems.
Yeah. I think that was too long, and the dragon was too short.
Yeah.
So
the dragon section was 20 minutes.
Yeah. Was it 20 minutes? It didn't seem that long. I love the goofy part. I love how they took the live action and then they cut as they're, as he's looking at things and he goes, "Oh, this is how we make Donald," and blah blah blah, and then they show the cartoon.
Yeah,
I thought that was neat. And then after the cartoon, then he talks to the voice of Donald and stuff. So, and then they cut to the Goofy and what's his name? Ward Kimball is doing all the animation and everything for it. And then they cut to the Goofy movie but when they did the baby
not the
scene,
actual Goofy movie, just like
no, yeah. How to Ride a Horse or whatever it was. I liked how they did the whole animation the storyboarding and all that, and how you take it from that to an actual movie. That part was cool. I just thought that it was a little long for me at least. And so, but I thought the rest of the movie was just great. I definitely watch it again.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Sure.
All right.
Nice.
And there you go. There you have it.
Yeah, that's
I
thought when we all said 5 on the top row, I thought this was going to be a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
did I, too far.
Yeah.
So did I.
The average of have we watched 4 so far? The average of the 4 so far, this one is the winner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this was the highest rated.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to place that somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
We're gonna start putting all this content on the Signs of Amusement website.
Yeah.
And then then we're gonna have merch. Merch will be related to that content. Content will be related to the merch. So
yeah.
That's a little ways down the line, but
Future project.
Yeah.
Coming attractions. Yes.
And you can always visit signsofamusement.com.
Yeah.
And comment and
there's nothing to do just yet.
Yeah, you can contact us, right?
Yeah.
So
although the schedule is up there, so you can go to
there you go.
signsofmusic.com/calendar and find out when we're doing stuff or when these videos come out.
Yep.
So I guess that's it. We want to hear from you. You guys let us know your thoughts on this and what you would rate it, and things that you would change or not change, and pretty much all the stuff that we talked about. So put it down in the comments, and we'd love to hear from you. Also, while you're there, subscribe, share with your friends and family. And we will
give us a like.
And like and subscribe. That's what I didn't say. And we will see you on the next one.
Yep.
Dumbo.
See you real soon.
Peace.
Peace. All right.
Fucking peace, Zach.
I know. Every time.